going to look at what's going on with you. I'm using my new cards that I just received in the mail a couple days ago. I'm really excited to finally get these out and be able to use them, which is why I haven't been online. If you guys have been following me in the past and wondered where I went, and I will definitely be on more consistently. So I have a Kickstarter campaign that these are available, so if anybody wants to purchase them and help bring them into being. This right here is my double deck that is basically my two Lenormand decks put together. The first one, a traditional Lenormand deck that I call the Picturesque, and the second is the Nuance Lenormand, where I brought in another 36 cards to end up kind of giving the meanings that we would have from many of the two card pairs, so you don't have to memorize all the different meanings that are possible of over 600 two card pairs. Alright, so let's take a look. What we're going to have on one side is one person, and then over here we'll have a second person. And here's the between the two of you. And we'll leave that one for a little bit later. I'll pull some other cards as we get along into this from the other parts of the deck that I've created. I've actually created a trio of 3 different decks that can be all used together, shuffled together, or used separately like I'm doing right now. So for one of you, the things, whatever is coming up that's creating the dynamic that's between the two of you here, is the church represent the things that have to do with religion and dogma, but I also put collective consciousness and tradition and even programming. So it's like when you're looking at this person, you're wondering, why are they doing this? What is going on here? And I don't understand it. I don't get it. This is why. It's because of programming, and this programming can come to us through a church. That's, you know, one of the main ways, but also through schooling, and then our families, and how, you know, it's passed on generationally. And then it also comes from the experiences we've had. And that really is what's driving their actions right now. And it's interesting, we have the child come up, which is about something new or a beginning, but it's also about inexperience and or creativity and being carefree. But my feeling of it here in this context, and it's also with the magnifying glass telling you to take a closer look, I think it's talking about inner child. The inner child that is affected by the programming, and this is something all of humanity is dealing with, but right now for you to understand what's going on either with yourself or the other person, if this is them, it's because there's inner child work that needs to be done. You take a closer look at what's going on underneath the surface at the inner child, and that's going to give you an answer. And even like giving we'll look at some advice to say, you know, how to deal with this, how to do this, if this is you or if this is the other person. So it's advising us take a closer look at the inner child here, because everything that's happening is from programming and the inner child wounding that is driving these actions. So now what's happening over on this side over here is there is some confusion about some thoughts, ideas, things going on in the mind is causing some hesitation, some doubt, even misunderstandings. And I actually feel like the misunderstandings that are going on because of what's happening over here, this person is like, I really don't understand this. This is making no sense to me. I don't get it. And that's, you know, why having an idea of what this is about is going to be helpful. But you need to understand that it's a process. The stepping stones are about change, but it's about change that comes over a process of one foot in front of the other, one step, one step, one step, and each step needs to happen before the next can be taken. You can't skip steps. And so if you are going to overcome the clouds and the confusion and the doubt and the hesitancy about what's happening with the other person here, that's going to be the solution. The fish is about resources, and it is saying you do have the resources to do this. You have what it takes to take those steps one at a time. And there is an investment involved here, an investment of money and of effort, and, you know, making those steps one at a time. Now, the fish can be about just actual money, but I'm not feeling that that's really what's going on with why this is being brought up right now. Let's see about what's happening between the two of you. Oh, there is separation. Wow. Okay. So we have the islands, which is about separation. You know, there's a saying, it's no man is an island, but we act like it. We often act like it, and when we're acting like it, it actually is causing a rift, and it is causing problems because we truly aren't islands. Everything, we're always connected, and we're connected to everyone. In fact, the bridge comes along, and that's what the bridge is about. It's about connection, and it's reminding us that really they're, you know, we are connected. But it's also interesting because what it's saying here is that you might feel that this is insurmountable, this, whatever the rift is between the two of you, they're going through their thing, you're doing yours, which vice versa, whichever, but right now there's distance between the two of you, and it's feeling like it can't be overcome, but the bridge is telling us that it can be. The bridge is actually, it says, communication, united, connect with others, reach out, or reach a compromise and share resources. So there's all about connection with the bridge. But we do feel tied down and trapped in some way. So it's like, this is what often you read in Lenormand, you read cards paired. So if this is the center card, then it's the one that's influencing the spread the most. But these two are read in a pair. And what the pair is telling us is that you feel tied down to being an island. You feel tied down to the isolation and the separation and the standoffishness. But the bridge is saying it can be bridged over. So let's get some advice on how and see what we get. So this is where I've separated out the signs of the zodiac, because we'll bring those in for timing in a minute. And then the signs of the zodiac go with the 24 spirit animal cards. And the spirit animals they can also be read just like the Lenormand cards, where there's words on them, and they can, you know, be really, actually, you can kind of create sentences out about it. Like, for example, a sentence with these cards would be, you're feeling tied down, and you're feeling tied down, but there's communication that can happen in spite of the separation. That's, you know, kind of how you can put the words together in sentences. But let's see what the animals say. The animals say for advice. Spirit, give us some advice for each of the parties here. So whoever this is over here, it says new beginnings. And the new beginnings, this is also, the rabbits make me think of spring. It's the number 1 card. It would be, you know, kind of similar to the magician being a number 1. Has all the energy of beginnings and new starts. It also actually literally means sex and procreation, but the idea behind that being multiply, a sudden increase, and then a desire. And so I'm feeling, actually fish can also mean about a lot of anything too. I'm feeling that what the advice here is that allow, like, see the clouds up here were like shadowing and causing doubt and confusion, when you really have the keys right here being the stepping stones and all of the resources to do it. And if you allow that new beginning to take place and really settle into what your desire is for, allow the fresh start to happen, allow the increases to come in, because they will come in. You have this resources, massive amount of resource to accomplish and move forward, and overcoming, you know, allowing this whole process to take place will overcome those clouds, which in the long run, it can also overcome this too, because what, you know, so often the ideas, like, we feel separate, we think we're separate, we feel tied down, but the reality of the truth of everything is that we're always connected, and that we're not tied down. We're only as tied down as we think we are. So let's take a look at advice for this one over here. It's the crow. And the crow is the memory keeper. This actually goes along very well with the idea of it being inner child healing that needs to take place, is to go into the memories of the inner child, go deep into the past, ask, and if you need to even go get some help. The crow knows things. I even feel of him as like he's kind of like that wise person. So it even could be saying, go to a wise person, a healer that can help you tap into those memories and find out where it is, because those are causing blocks. This is causing this feeling of separation. this feeling of being tied down to the painful memories that maybe have been buried deep. They could even be, you know, past life kind of things, but certainly I think that anything from our past lives gets reflected into this life. So usually we find out how to heal them through our experiences and dealing with experiences from our current lifetimes. Let's see, I'm going to go ahead and pull one for the middle. Ladybug. Take it easy, leisure, birth of a daughter. I have two cards here that could be birth of daughter and birth of a son. Wishes eventually come true. So this process, you know, with your soulmate, the heart of the soulmate here is going on. There's a lot of the separation, distance. But if there's the desire, because we have the rabbits here, if we have the desire to have change, we have the desire to have a new beginning and to bridge this gap, to make this bridge happen, then that desire can come true. And it's the ladybug has this feeling of going at it with ease, though, and in the flow, and she doesn't push ahead, and she's the empress of number 3. So she's going to attract this in, she's going to call it into her and call it into being, and it will eventually come true because of her, you know, just her ease. So let's take a look at timing of when, and I'm thinking about in particular with this bridge, when might we expect to see, you know, the energies where the energy is currently at, to overcome the gaps here, to make forward progress, to have the healing in order to bridge across these islands here for this couple. And I have Aries, which is of course coming up very soon here. We're within, it says the timing of Aries is within 7 days, so I feel that some of you actually may see some shifts within a very short time, or during the spring, which would be a whole entire season of 3 months, or during the specific time of Aries, which is March 22 to April 21. So I do feel like this is, for most of you, it's going to be fairly short-lived until you're going to see some change and shift. Let's take a look, final card here at the Planetary Influencers. These 10 additional cards are available as a bonus right now in my Kickstarter campaign. They're not part of the regular deck. And they are the 8 planets plus the sun and the moon for influences. And I have Uranus, which is interesting because it is the Fool, which takes a leap. And that is, I feel like, you know, when all of this is said and done, being able to take the leap into the unknown is kind of what creates that bridge. That's how the bridge gets created, by being able to take the leap. So I hope you guys enjoyed the reading. Thank you so much for liking this video, sharing my channel with others, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will be back soon. As a longtime tarot card user, I recently took the leap into learning Lenormand, another great intuitive divination tool for accessing the higher knowing of our subconscious mind. Developed in the 18th century by a famous seer, it has a unique voice and direct approach to everyday matters in life. With just 36 cards and simple imagery of things like the sun, the moon, a letter, or a tree, this system delivers thousands of specific meanings through corresponding 2-card pairs. That's a vast possibility of intuitive messages, but the task of becoming proficient in its use is truly daunting. To tackle the learning curve, I decided to create a Lenormand-based oracle of my own that would be visually appealing, but also contain easy-to-read keywords to convey the card's various possible meanings, and contain additional cards that could represent the most common 2-card pairs. It would also include timing cards, because who doesn't want to know when something is going to occur? The final result of my creative design process has yielded a trilogy, 3 sets of 36 cards for a total of 108. The picturesque Lenormand Oracle is a beautiful, classic oracle with warm, inviting images evocative of old photo albums. The Nuance Lenormand Oracle contains additional cards that were carefully chosen to represent the meanings of the most common 2-card pairs from the Lenormand. The Zodiac and Spirit Animal Oracle contains 12 cards to represent each sign of the zodiac and to address timing, but also to show up in a reading as a particular person, similar to the tarot court cards. A number of animals showed up with powerful things to say. Their voices add nuance and reveal secrets of spirit and remind us of our connection to Source. I'm also offering a collector's bonus exclusive to this campaign. It is 10 additional cards that are the planets, including the Sun and the Moon, and when paired with the 12 signs of the zodiac, they actually form the major arcana from the tarot. This Kickstarter will fund the first run edition of the Nuance Oracle Trio, and subsequent sales will finance the completion of Intuit, an intuitive divination app I've developed based on the tarot and Lenormand. The rewards are as follows. I'm completely finished with the Intuit Nuance Oracle Trio card images. So as soon as the campaign is over, they will be sent immediately to the printers. Thank you so much for your support. I truly can't wait until they're printed, packaged, and shipped to you, and I'm confident that you'll enjoy using them as much as I have enjoyed creating them.